on Dudes and Dudettes. So sadly for Duke news, Zion Williamson, #1 overall pick in this year's draft, is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks to have surgery on a torn meniscus. I guess it's kind of like the same type of injury he had in college, but obviously just used rest, didn't have any surgery, but guess right now just to get it over with, to repair it and everything and not rush him back, which is good. So yeah, it sucks, at least NBA's rating wise, because that was going to be their very first game this year, was to have his team play against the defending champions tonight. But obviously it's just going to be a normal looking game with all those ex-Lakers, and then the Lakers play the Clippers after that, to be pretty cool. Probably won't be able to see it, be at work, but hopefully it's going to be a good game. Then Vernon Carey, the center for the Duke Blue Devils, was named to the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar award list, which I'm assuming is for the top center in the whole entire country, which is pretty cool. They're seeing the recognition for the talent there, but I don't know why Duke was still ranked 4th overall if a lot of these guys are supposedly very talented. So I don't know why, when that came out, why that happened. But Luol Deng, an ex-small forward for the Blue Devils and ex-Bulls player, Lakers player, he's been all over, Miami player, he's been all over the NBA, but he did recently, I think this last week, sign a one-day deal to be able to retire with the Chicago Bulls, the team that he was with the longest, which is pretty cool. But it does suck of how contracts work out. I mean, I believe including this year and maybe the next 2 years after this, the Lakers are still going to pay him like about $5 million, even though he's not playing for them, but that's just how they structured the deal. And he accepted that once he left, and that was just another ridiculous trade, or not trade, but signing that the old general manager did, and just horrible, ruining the Lakers' chances for money here. But onto USC basketball. So Nick Rakusevic, their center, was also listed on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar list, like Vernon Carey of Duke. So it's good to have both of my teams have 2 guys at least on the watch list at the beginning of the year, which is awesome. But also the freshman Isaiah Mobley was named for the Karl Malone award list, so I'm assuming that's for power forward if the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was for the center position. So that's cool. Congrats to him. Maybe he has a lot of talent, we'll see. But they did play an exhibition game last weekend against Villanova to raise money for charity, which was cool. But in the end, USC ended up winning also 72-61. So that's very cool. At least they were able to get that W and then see what they can do against a team that recently won the championship a couple years back. So it's a good, nice measuring stick for them. Then a little bit of Lakers news. So they pick up the 4th-year option for Kyle Kuzma going into next season, which is kind of obvious to keep him on that rookie deal. It's probably only going to be about $5 million in total. So other than that, it works out for them. But then also a little bit of Kuzma news. So yes, injury update. He is still out for the season opener tonight against the Clippers, but hopefully his status will change and he'll be able to start or at least play within the next couple weeks. So that's at least somewhat looking bright for them. But then Kobe recently mentioned that the only reason Kawhi didn't sign with the Lakers was because he wanted to have a chance or an opportunity to try to win a championship without LeBron's help. But to me, haven't you been doing that your first like 6, 7, or 8 years that you've been in the league so far? You haven't been on LeBron James' team, and you know, you've won at least 3, I believe, 2 with the Spurs, 1 with Toronto. So yeah, I mean, he's won without him already. I mean, you could have been a dynasty for the next 4 or 5 years and won at least 3 or 4 championships, in my opinion. And the Lakers still would have been able to had Anthony Davis on their roster as well. So I don't know, what's he really talking about? He could have been an even better, as far as championships, NBA player, in my opinion. But yes, they're saying that the LA is the NBA universe, or the center of the universe for basketball this year, because of all the talent that came in trades and everything like that and signed in LA for both the Lakers and the Clippers. So it's going to be a very exciting season. Clippers are going to be without a couple of their guys in the beginning, but the Lakers, as of right now, have most of their guys, except a couple guys that got injured for the whole year. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Should be very fun, very exciting. Then also for USC football news, so they beat up Arizona 41-14, and that was really with a lot of backups and injuries going into the game. So I'm very happy and surprised that they were able to do that, especially with the type of quarterback that Arizona has in the first half, at least when they were playing him. He's a running type of quarterback, and USC has always struggled against them, but luckily for this kid, they've beat him 4 straight years, which is at least surprising to me because they've always struggled with the type of quarterback like that. But I think because he's an LA native, he was always, a bit too shy, or the moment was too big whenever playing against a team he rooted for. But yeah, like I said, they did it with a bunch of injuries and backups in there, and the score probably would have been a lot better. Maybe no points scored against them and even more points scored for them. So yeah, can't wait for a lot of these guys to get back. But speaking of injury news, so 4th or 5th option wide receiver Munir McClain, the freshman for USC, tore his ACL, so he will be out the rest of the year, which sucks. But also Marquise Stepp, the so far redshirt freshman star running back for USC, who did very well against Notre Dame in the loss last week, but he has a dislocated ankle, so he'll be out for I think like 3 to 5 weeks, it says, which sucks, but that's just the crap you got to deal with. And then other big time injuries is like Talanoa Hufanga, the safety for USC. He's a very talented guy, but luckily it's his shoulder this time. It's usually been like his clavicles or collarbone, which has sucked, but luckily it's just a shoulder. Should be a couple weeks, but hopefully it's nothing too serious. And then my favorite guy from Corona Centennial, Drake Jackson, the defensive end freshman, got injured as well. I think it's another ankle injury, but hopefully it won't keep him out very long. But yeah, just like even talking about guys that they already had out, like Christian Rector, Elijah Griffin, Greg Johnson, Vavai Malapea, and Pale Naotiote. A lot of key starters and players for them that were already out. And like I said, they blew out Arizona. But I think from what we're hearing, Rector is a maybe for this weekend, or actually this Friday coming up against Colorado. But both Elijah Griffin and Greg Johnson, the cornerbacks, did practice this week, so they look like they're going to be able to play. So at least USC is getting some of these people that are injured healthy back. And I don't know why this year both my teams, USC and the Chargers, are both facing a bunch of injuries. It just freaking sucks. But yeah, I'll get to the Chargers eventually. I'll get to them. But as you can see right here with some of the highlights going right now, hopefully, maybe you can hear me. I don't know. I'll see what I can do. But yes, the Ducks beat Carolina 4-2. It's very cool. At least they got that. But I think they did recently lose to the Calgary Flames at home, which they really haven't done in a long time. But yeah, you win some, you lose some. It's all good. But yes, the Chargers. Now let's get to those fools. So yes, Derwin James is finally, they saw him out of the walking boot, which is very good. At least he's on progress to return within at least a month or so. So definitely looking forward to that, to shore up that stupid defense that has been sucking. But yet another player that has been put on IR, the wide receiver Travis Benjamin. Not really sure. I don't think he's out for the season, but he might be out for a couple weeks, but we'll see how that goes, how long he's going to be out. But because of that move, they did sign a defensive tackle in T.Y. McGill, who's been on the team recently but let go to make up some space. But then I also heard the other day too that Forrest Lamp, the guy I've always been hard on the offensive line because he was a very high pick for them and always struggling with injuries all of a sudden when he never did in college. And of course now he broke something in his leg and now he's going to be out for the whole season again. So I think they're going to use a bunch of guys, and even that Ryan Broy, the ex-Buffalo Bill I mentioned in the other video, he might be in the starting lineup at some point also. But a little bit of some positive news. So Russell Okung, their left tackle, he did return to practice this last week but didn't play just because it was still a little bit too early, but at least he returned, so he has a positive chance to play this weekend. But he was out because of those weird blood clots things. A lot of guys are getting those right now for some reason. That's what kept out the ex-Lakers forward Brandon Ingram and ended his season towards the end of the year last year. But yeah, it's pretty crazy how that's happened. I don't know how these athletes are getting them, but have to figure that shizzle out. But yes, they lost 23-20 against the freaking Tennessee Titans, who were starting a second string quarterback and not their main guy. And the Chargers, like always, were fighting at the end, trying to keep the score. They're down by 3, and then they get so many opportunities. They score basically twice, but one got taken back because of a penalty, and then the last one, Melvin Gordon fumbles. And of course, who made him fumble? Jarrell Casey, the ex-USC guy, who I said the Chargers need to make a trade for, but yes, it came back to bite me, of course, like always in the future. But guys like Bosa, Phillip Rivers kept saying after the game that, yeah, now we'll definitely find out what type of players we have and the type of guys we have in this locker room, how we can come back from this. And Rivers believes that because of so many teams that are beating up on each other, that having an 8-8 season, a 9-7 season, that they could definitely try to make up once these guys get healthy, that anybody can make the playoffs right now, but they've lost to a couple teams that will be in the playoff race, so they haven't had the easiest of schedules. I already knew that was gonna happen coming into this year, but yeah, we'll deal with that. And they're saying Eckler needs to get the ball more. That's what I've been saying, that you need to trade Melvin Gordon away, because once he came back, the chemistry and the running game has been really bad. Yes, the offensive line has suffered injuries as well because of that, but if you got rid of Gordon, got something in return, whether it's receivers, someone on the defense, maybe an offensive lineman as well, and picks, then you'll be freaking good. And of course, you know, the freaking Patriots made a trade for the wide receiver Mohamed Sanu from the Falcons, who I said the Chargers should get. Yeah, they gave up a second round pick, but the Patriots are always smart. They trade back, they, you know, accumulate a bunch of these picks, and then they're able to give up a second round pick like that for a guy who's gonna be really good for them. And of course, they freaking made it, and the Chargers didn't. Now they're saying, is it a panic or relax for the Chargers? I think it's panic, according to that Dwight Schrute face right there. But yes, definitely panic. As of right now, they would be picking like 7th in the draft, and they're going through the projections. They said if the whole season were to play out, they would pick 9th in next year's draft. I think they should just completely blow up everything and just let it all go, get a high draft pick, see what you could get. But thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think.
ESPN Wednesday, 76. Now you've added all the shooting, continuing with these lead players as well. So this is exactly what Alvin Gentry and Snap wants to play. Up tempo fast, just check it in with impunity inside the lane. But again, this is preseason, and no scouting report goes on. Don't take away that left hand. These are good problems to have for Coach Gentry and the coaching staff. I'd rather have a lot of horses to go into battle with than 1 or 2.
Underneath, Eckler the catch. Eckler takes it in for the touchdown. Backside hits before the ball breaks the plane right there. This may be short, but it's going to be inches away if they so rule. Challenge just a review. The play, the runner is short of the goal line. Eckler in motion. Handoff. Gordon. Flag down. Full start. Like Feeney move. Rivers. Up in the air. Through the hands of Williamson. Complete. And a flag down. In the end zone, Malcolm Butler. Pass interference. Defense number 21. Bounder in the end zone. Yep, that grab there, that's a good call. He can't. Shotgun. Handoff. again.
The head linesman that comes in, Phil McKinley, has ruled him down and stopped. You can obviously